2021 is going to be your year. No, really, I mean it. I feel like many of us have trust issues on a very existential scale coming into 2021, into this new year. And it makes sense because 2020, for nearly all of us, was a year of chaos. It was a year that even if we began feeling strong, feeling stable within ourselves, we found ourselves thrown very off balance, not just on a world scale in very obvious ways, but even on an individual level. I find that many of us were caught off guard by things that happened in our personal lives in 2020. Many of us lost our jobs, went through a sudden spiritual awakening, went through a change in our family relationships. We may have made some drastic move. We may have done something we regretted, gone through a breakup. There were a lot of seemingly negative things that happened this past year. So coming into 2021, I find us all collectively a little hesitant to come in with the same feeling of excitement, feeling that this year is brand new, that we normally enter a new year with, and it's very understandable. But I want to tell you that for those of you who are familiar with astrology, I personally am not an astrologist. I just dabble in picking up information here and there, so I'm sure many of you know much more about it than I do. But even from what I'm sure many of you have heard and what I have heard, 2020 was meant, destined, astrologically, collectively, on a very large world scale, to be the way that it was. And although it was messy and chaotic, what it was truly doing for many of us, both individually and on a large scale, was 2020 was clearing away, uprooting things that needed to be changed, both on a world scale and within ourselves. So much began to crumble around us, both personally and collectively. And the purpose of all of that seeming destruction was actually for 2021, because in this year, we are rebuilding. The space has been cleared, the air has been cleared, and you and I and everyone collectively has the opportunity to build upon that clear foundation, something brand new. So in this video, I want to talk about 2021 manifestation. Things you absolutely need to know about manifesting in 2021. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. So what do you need to know about manifesting in 2021? I'm going to share with you in this video my top 5 tips, things to keep in mind moving into the new year as a powerful, creative being, the creative being that you are. And I hope that through this video, I can reawaken you to your true power and potential, and to how you can begin to direct your own powerful, creative energy to build the life of your dreams this year, to have the experience that you desire and that you deserve of looking back a year, 2 years, 3 years from now and saying to yourself, I can't believe that back then I was just dreaming that dream and now it's all come true around me. The first 2021 manifestation tip I have for you is this year, create a vision. Like I said, I think many of us right now at this moment lack trust. We lack the trust that if we build a vision, we will be able to create it. Maybe you have experiences in the past with trying to manifest something big for yourself. Maybe you even had a plan for it and set some kind of a deadline. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out for you. And since that experience, you've been interested in the idea of law of attraction and manifestation because your soul still knows there is truth in this kind of teaching and esoteric knowledge. But at the same time, your experiences seem to speak differently. You've had struggles in the past. I want you to know that even though it may have been hard to see at the time, those struggles were actually there to prepare you for the manifestation of your goals and dreams this year in 2021. And the reason it didn't manifest on your timeline is because you had to go through those negative experiences, that destruction in certain areas of your life, in order to clear the way for this new vision you are about to create for yourself after listening to this podcast. It's not that your vision was flawed or that you were flawed. It's that the space had to be cleared. The time was not right. You thought from your own conscious 3D ego perspective that you were going to set this deadline that has since came and went for that goal. But the universe wants you to know, your divine forces want you to know, that that was a perfect and beautiful vision, a beautiful plan. But they're asking you to be more flexible, to recreate that vision for yourself, to not be afraid to dream it again just because in the past it didn't happen on your timeline or what your ego believed to be the right terms or the right timeline. Which moves me into my second 2021 manifestation tip. Have the courage to recreate yourself this year in the face of your ego. Many of us have built up entire lives based on an inauthentic self, on a false self, predominantly driven by the ego, by that loud voice inside of us that wanted to prove something to someone else. This year in 2021, the universe is asking you to let go of that ego self, that false self. And I know that is scary because for many of you, you have a sense of time limitation. You believe that because you have spent so many years building up this false self, whether it's through a career, through a marriage that you've built, through a relationship, through what you thought was your calling, you've spent all these years building up a false self. The foundation was an ego, but on that foundation, you built so much over such a long period of time that you are afraid. I have a feeling many of you out there listening are afraid to allow those false features of your life, those things built from an ego space, to crumble. Because it's like we refer to as the sunk cost fallacy, the idea that just because we put so much time and effort into something, we shouldn't let it go. It should still be worth our time and effort. Have the courage to release your feeling of limitation when it comes to time. It may have taken you 10 years to build your marriage, your current relationship to the point that it's at now. But if your soul isn't in it, if you're feeling guided to end that marriage, to leave that relationship, you feel your intuition nagging on you, and it's just the time spent with this person that's holding you back, know that just because you spent 10 years to build something in ego doesn't mean it has to take 10 years to build something of equal value in soul. Because when it comes to building in soul, building from that intuitive space, we are tapping into the energy that creates worlds, the energy of the universe. But the only way we can truly tap into that energy to build something new is to clear away what we've already built in our lives. The universe wants you to know that if you are holding on to things you've built out of ego, there is no space for those new creations to come in. And there has to be such an element of trust here. You can't be afraid to recreate yourself all over again. And 2021 is the prime year for this self-recreation. And what you need to know, what the universe wants you to know, is that when you choose to take that leap of faith, to release, let go, and allow to be deconstructed everything you have built out of ego, when you leave the space for something new to come in, something new and 1,000,000 times better, 1,000,000 times more aligned with your true soul's vision will come in. And when it does, not only will it fill that space, but it will expand exponentially faster than you ever could have imagined possible. Because remember, when we listen to our intuition, which I always say is the compass of the soul, we are being led in the direction of our own freedom. Your soul, your intuition, is the compass guiding you into your own freedom. And it will guide you there faster than you ever could have imagined possible, but only if you have the courage to let go of everything you've created from ego so far. Understand that when you begin to follow your intuition, you can build 1,000,000 times faster than you built through your ego, because again, you are tapping into that energy that creates worlds. So if you've been afraid to leave something behind, maybe it's a job or a career, you may be thinking, it's taken me 10 years to earn X amount of money at this job. If I quit and start my dream business, how can I know that I am going to be provided for? How can I trust? What if it takes another 10, 20, 30 years to build to the same level of financial success? But what the universe wants you to know is if you take that leap of faith, if you allow your joy, your passion to be your guide rather than your fear, you will not only build the same material success, you will not be able to tap into your limitless abundance, but you will surpass all of the material objectives you reached through that soulless, ego-driven career or job. Again, this could apply to any area of your life, whatever you have been holding on to that your intuition has been telling you for so long to release. It's time to make that decision now in 2021. The third thing to know about 2021 manifestation is to declutter your life energetically. And what I mean is, this year, 2020, has been a year of chaos, a year of mental clutter. We have all been cluttering our minds with fear, with anxiety, with uncertainty for the future. It's time to declutter all of these lower vibrations from your being and from your life. And one great way to do this is going back to the first thing I said about creating a vision, to create a vision for yourself that is so clear and so compelling, that has all of your energy and attention and focus upon it, that it pulls you every single day. And by pulling you, it pulls you away, it pulls you out of those lower states of fear and anxiety. What do you want for yourself? And notice I asked what you wanted, not what you thought you should do, not what makes sense to your logic, not what your parents wanted you to be or someone told you was possible for you. What do you, at the very core of your soul, truly desire for your life? Begin to step forward bravely into that vision this year. And in the process, you are going to find it necessary to cut ties. Cut ties not only with certain people who may be holding you in a negative vibration, in a negative headspace, but to also cut ties with old perceptions of yourself, old versions of you that were holding you back. Which brings me into the next thing, the fourth thing to do to manifest all of your goals, dreams, and desires in 2021. It's time to address your shadow self. Today, I released a separate video entirely describing the shadow self and specifically how to begin shadow work. This will set you on the fast track to manifestation, and here's why. The shadow self gets a bad rep in the law of attraction community because most people misunderstand it. When I say shadow self, most people think this is negative. This is focusing on the negative aspects of yourself, which of course is counterproductive because what we focus on expands. So if we focus on our negative qualities and traits, we just cause them to get bigger. That's not what I mean by the shadow self. By the shadow self, I mean anything that is out of your conscious mind's awareness. To become aware, to become awakened to your subconscious mind programming, your unconscious self, the self that you have been repressing, that despite being out of your conscious mind's awareness, has still been greatly impacting everything that is manifesting in your life. If in 2020 or in past years of your life, you have felt very stuck, as if you are just coming up against a wall whenever you try to make a certain change, what you are actually doing is coming face to face with a shadow aspect of yourself, a part of yourself that is very unconsciously embedded, deeply embedded into your subconscious. These are the thoughts that play on a loop over and over again in the unconscious mind, that we become so familiar with, we no longer even realize they're there at all. This is why I am so passionate about subliminals on this channel, because subliminal affirmations tracks are meditation tracks designed to affect, to alter and shift this subconscious, unconscious part of the brain, to address this shadow self, this side of ourselves we may be repressing, that could be negatively impacting what is manifesting in our lives, or alternatively preventing us from manifesting the things we want. When we shift the subconscious, this is when we step into that space of effortless manifestation, that space in which we can take quantum leaps toward our goals, because as research has shown, 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes are actually coming from the subconscious part of the brain. So I do want to note here, if you would like to begin using subliminals to access and alter this subconscious part of the brain and manifest your goals and dreams faster in 2021, check out my website, Sound and Soulful. I have created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. This includes physical bodily changes, changes within our relationships, specific manifestations in our lives, changes in our mood or overall mental state, money, anything you desire. I have probably created a subliminal that is aligned with this goal or dream. Some of my most popular subliminals will be linked in the description box, as well as my favorite all-time subliminal, my 7 chakra clearing subliminal, designed to clear away energetic blockages in all 7 chakras. That will be linked in the pinned comment as well as the description box. And you can access each and every one of these subliminals as a member on my website. You can create a 7-day free trial to access any of these tracks completely free. The 5th and final way to manifest in 2021, my top 2021 manifestation tip, is to release control. To choose this year to trust in the divine unfolding of your life, to trust that there is a higher guiding force, whatever you connect with, whether this is the universe, your spirit guides, your higher self. You must believe that this universe is responding to you in some way, not just responding, but perfectly responding to your energy, to your thoughts, to your intentions, and that it is always supporting you and always responding to you. And within this knowing, you must learn to step forward into the dark. And believe me, it will be dark at times, even when you are following your divine calling, your divine purpose. Many times, especially in the beginning, you will feel as though you are completely walking in the dark. This really goes back to one of my all-time favorite metaphors, which is that following your divine purpose in life is like driving your car at night with the headlights on. You can always only see as far as the headlights, but you can make it the whole trip that way. And just like in this metaphor, you can make it the whole trip only knowing the next step and the next step and the next step. And what keeps guiding you to that next step, these so-called headlights within this metaphor, is your own soul's intuition, that compass within you, that small voice within you that is often a whisper, that is always telling you, this is your destiny, this is your path. Listen to that voice, even if your ego is screaming, even if others are going against you, even if no one believes in you. Have the courage to believe not only in yourself, but in those guiding forces of your life. Trust in the unfolding of your divine path and keep taking that next step forward. I hope this video resonated with you going into this new year, and thank you for being part of this channel with me as we step forward together into 2021. If I did resonate with you, please subscribe to this channel, join our community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. Also, do let me know in the comments, what are you trying to manifest in 2021? Did any of these tips stick out to you more than others? Did I resonate with you? I always like to know your thoughts and feedback because, as I always say, in this community, love is catching like wildfire. We are co-creators of this information here on this channel. So thank you so much again just for being here, for sharing your energy with me here. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful start to 2021. I'll talk to you again in the next podcast.